Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. We're from the first group teaching English for young learners. The members of our group are me, Ika Yulianing Rias, Wardah Afifah Amalia, and Nerisa Quri Nafa. In this video, we will explain about teaching strategy in vocabulary. There are 5 subchapters of material that we will discuss today. The first is definition of vocabulary, problems in learning vocabulary, types of vocabulary, the kinds of vocabulary, and the last is the strategies in teaching vocabulary. Definition of vocabulary. Vocabulary is one of the most important elements in a language. Vocabulary is a part of language that underlies the understanding of the language itself, as stated by Noonan that vocabulary is more than a list of target language words. Vocabulary is a part of language system. In addition, the quality of learners' vocabulary influences the foreign language skills. Problems in learning vocabulary. In learning and teaching process, there are so many problems we will find. Besides memorizing, we will find other difficulties that the students have. Some factors that often cause this problem are: the first is pronunciation. Research shows that words are difficulties to pronounce are more difficult to learn. Potentially difficult words will typically be those that contain sounds that are unfamiliar to some group of the learners. Second, spelling. Words that contain silent letters are particularly problematic, such as friends, listen, honest, etc. The third is length and complexity. Long words seem to be no more difficult to learn than short ones, but as a rule of thumb, high-frequency words tend to be short in English, and therefore the learner is likely to meet them more often, a factor favoring their learning ability. Next, grammar. Also problematic is the grammar associated with the word, especially if this differs from that of its first language equivalents. And the last is meaning. When two words overlap in meaning, learners are likely to confuse them. Types of vocabulary. The first is reading vocabulary. A literature person's vocabulary is all the words they can recognize when reading. This is generally the largest types of vocabulary simply because a reader tends to be exposed to more words by reading than by listening. The second is listening vocabulary. Listening vocabulary. A person's listening vocabulary is all the words they can recognize when listening to speech. People may still understand words they were not exposed to before using cues, such as tone, gesture, the topic of discussion, and the social context of the conversation. The third is speaking vocabulary. A person speaking vocabulary is all the words they use in speech. It is likely to be a subset of the listening vocabulary. Due to the spontaneous nature of speech, words are often misused. These misuse, though slang and intentional, may be compensated by facial expression and tone of voices. The last is writing vocabulary. Words are used in various forms of writing, from formal essays to social media feeds. Many written words do not commonly appear in speech. Writers generally use a limited set of words when communicating. The kinds of vocabulary. Joe and Emerson and Mary Liefeld classifies vocabulary into two categories. They are: first, receptive vocabulary is vocabulary that readers recognize when they see it but do not use when they speak or write. Second, productive vocabulary is the vocabulary that the people actually to speak and write. As in bracket, divided into two categories, namely active vocabulary and passive vocabulary. Active vocabulary is the word someone can use, and passive is the word someone can understand but does not use. He also cited that vocabulary was divided into function words and content words. The function words are closed class. We cannot add the preposition or auxiliaries or models or any other structure word of the language. The strategies used by teachers in teaching English vocabulary. First, memorizing. This was done to make the students to understand the reading text easier. Teachers also directly translate difficult words encountered in text. This strategy was believed to develop vocabularies of the students. Mostly, the teacher used memorization to improve the students' vocabulary. In every meeting, the teacher always wrote new vocabulary related with the reading material in the whiteboard. She asked the student to write and memorize the word. Second, synonym or antonym. In this activity, the teacher helped the student to translate the difficult word. However, she did not directly translate in Indonesia, but she often used the synonym of that word, or she used that word in context to make the student easy to understand the meaning. The teachers mostly use Indonesian language to explain the material. The teacher explained the generic structure, goal, and function of the procedure text. After that, she asked the students to provide examples about procedure text. The third is translating. Translating is a quick and easy way to present the meaning of words, but it is not without problems. First place in teaching is not always easy to translate words. And secondly, even when the translation might make it a little too easy for the students by pushing them and interact with words. Number 4, using the Duolingo application. In this test, the task given is in the form of multiple choice question from each word. Fill in the blank, synonym, and other sentences that have been described. The test material is topic that have been studied. The control class and the experimental class have questions the same. The pre-test and post-test questions are taken from the Duolingo application and consist of 40 questions.
The fifth is word wall. A word wall is a collection of words which are displayed in large visible letters on a wall, bulletin board, or other display surface in a classroom. Word walls can be a great learning tool for children because they provide a rich resource of vocabulary for students of all ages. The main purpose of a word wall is to use it as a scaffold to help students develop their sight word and word identification knowledge. Why use word wall? The first, they provide a model for high frequency word, and second, they help students remember connection between words and concepts. And the last, they provide reference support for children during reading and writing activities. Types of word wall. First, high frequency sight word. Second, spelling word wall. Third, content area word wall. Fourth, unit or capture word wall. Fifth, parts of speech word wall. Sixth, frequently misspelled words. And the last, words with specific spelling patterns or prefix, suffix, bold-text. How to use it? Make words accessible by putting them where every student can see them. Teachers and students should work together to determine which words should go on the word wall. Use the word wall daily to practice words, incorporating a variety of activities such as chatting, snapping, cheering, clapping, tracing, word quizzing games, as well as writing them. Provide enough practice so that words are read and spelled automatically, and make sure that words from the wall are always spelled correctly in the children's daily writing. New information should be added on a regular basis. Use content area material from the curriculum rather than randomly selected words, and word walls should be referred to often so students come to understand and see their relevance. The sixth is word box or vocabulary box. Word box is one of the strategies for teaching vocabulary. This is a weekly strategy that can help students retain and use words more effectively. Activities for word box or vocabulary box. First is testing. Hand out the cards to students who are grouped in pairs. And second, categorization. Students can categorize the cards in the parts of speech or lexical set. And the last is revision games. Having a vocabulary box means that you have quick access to appropriate words for word games. Procedure to use it. At the end of each vocabulary lesson, for example, houses and homes, Either you are the student should write words from the lesson on different cards, and this vocabulary box can then be used at any time to review the vocabulary studied over the weeks. And you could simply pick words from the box at random, give the definition, and ask for the word. This can be done as a simple team game. And the last, or you may try something more active. The seventh is blindfold. Blindfold is a game of free movement and exploration of a virtual space that allows simple interaction with key elements and access, which ends up being quite a challenge. The game simulation a realistic and setting, allowing players to make sense of the sound-driven experience. This game can be applied as vocabulary learning at all like basic, intermediate, and advanced. Procedure for how to play the game. The first, before stepping into the game, it would be nice if students were taught simple descriptive expression. And second is students are asked to cover their eyes with a cloth or scarf that has been prepared. And the third is after all students are blindfolded, the teacher will give the object that have been prepared earlier such as book, pencil, pens, and etc. to each student. And the last, students are then asked to describe this object. Students who success in describing and guessing the object correctly will get a reward or prize.
Okay, number 8. Semantic mapping. Semantic mapping is strategy for graphically representing concepts. A semantic word map allows students to conceptually explore their knowledge of a new word by mapping it with other related words or phrases similar in meaning to the new word. There are three components to a semantic map. First, core question or concept. This is keyword or phrase that is the main focus of the map. Second, strength, subordinate idea that help explain or clarify the main concept. This can be generated by the student. And the third, supporting information, details, inference, and generalization that are related to each strand. Supports clarify the trends and distinguish one trend from another. Next, number 9, word card. Word cards are small cards to help us to remember words. Making a set of word cards is an easy way to revise vocabulary. Follow this step to make cards. 1. On one side, we write the word stress and pronunciation, and the type of word, for example, noun, verb, and etc. Number 2. On the other side, write a definition or sentence with the word or a sentence with the word in. We could also write a translation or draw a picture. Number 3. Sorry. Take the card with you in your bag when you have 5 minutes. Like on the bus, look at the word and try to remember the definition. Number 4. Look at the other side of the card and check. Are you? Read the definition and try to remember the word. Number 5. If writing words in pages of writing, if writing words on pages of paper isn't for you, keep a word list on your computer or mobile phone. There are mobile apps available to help you improve your vocabulary. And the last word learning strategies. The Word Learning Strategies program teaches fourth and fifth grades strategies for inferring the meanings of a known word they encounter while reading. The benefit 1. Ensures students learn when how to use word learning strategies for inferring the meaning of a noun word so the students are able to learn new words on their own. 2. All material are included. There is teacher quote, student activity book, poster, quizzes, and tests. Number 3. Teacher's query provides step by step in instruction and is easy to ask. And is easy to use. 4. Supplemental online instructional is available for ELLs and students needing remediation. And the last online teacher training includes videos with expert hand teachers who have done the word learning strategies program. And how it work? How it works? Before teaching the word learning strategies program, teacher take an online training course. The interactive 90 minutes training utilizes video I'm sorry utilizes video and other multimedia to explain the relational and coding principle of the program. Introduce the word learning strategies material and legend, and provide critical background information about prefixes, suffixes, contact clues, and dictionary. Teacher teach the word learning strategies curriculum to their student. 15 weeks of instruction on 4 word learning strategies. There is word parts, contact, dictionary, and combine it. The strategy are through using a set of guidelines that combine direct explanation and constructivism to approaches that have proven very successful. So that's all about our group. So if I mistake, I'm sorry. I'm sorry very much. I'm sorry. So, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.